Hey guys, welcome to Copernicus Corner. I'm over in Watcher of Realms, and we're going to be checking out some of this stuff. So we've got Rosalia on Hero Showcase for the day. Um, so she's dancing around all colorfully and wandish and all that. And so she is a 5-star fighter from the Cultist faction. She has some skills over here. We've got the magic attack. Now, all right, that's interesting, right? We've got 3 rows, and it looks like there's a space between each row in front of her. So that's a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forward, and not hitting the ones in between, and then one to either side. It says paints a roll of tiles in range with a random color, red, yellow, or blue for 15 seconds. And if we look at red, it says continuously inflicts burning on enemies in range for 5 seconds. Yellow increases the caster's damage against enemies in range by 20%, and blue inflicts 1 stack of Winter's Bite on enemies in range every 2 seconds. Winter's Bite, I think it slows them and damages them. Burning does damage over time, and of course, increasing the caster's damage is pretty self-explanatory. All right, next we have Color Burst, which is her ultimate. That looks like it also goes 5 spaces ahead, but it covers all of the spots and 1 to either side as well. It says when the ultimate is activated, each basic attack deals 700% AoE magic damage to each 12 enemies and knocks back the targets that are closer to the caster. Each attack also paints tiles within the attack range with a random color. During the ultimate, reduces damage to the caster by 50%. So, that lasts for 20 seconds, and it costs 1100. So that's pretty good. I like that. Then we have Congeal, which is her passive. When enemies enter a tile of the same color, they take an extra hit of 200% AoE magic damage and are inflicted with immobilized state. The same color as what? We don't know. The immobilized state is just unable to move for 2 seconds. I don't understand what that means exactly. Does it mean that if they're in one, if they're in one tile of a color and then they move over to the side, that now they're immobilized for 2 seconds? So like if they're going straight up and down, like say in front of Rosalia, and they're going, across her field of vision, then does that mean they hit the first one of that set of 3 and they're fine, but then they go to the next step, they're immobilized for 2 seconds, and then they go to the next one, they're immobilized again for 2 seconds? Maybe. Hey Cody, how you doing? So that's an interesting ability there. And then we have Desaturate, which is another passive ability. When the hero kills an enemy, increases attack by 10% for 7 seconds, stacking up to 30% attack increase. Alright, then Palette Swap, which is her passive, and that is her bond skill when you also have Pierre, which is the painter. Hey OJ, how you doing? Oh look, Cody pulled her. Cool. Congrats, Cody. It says obtain hero Pierre the painter to unlock the following bonus effect. When Rosalia dies or retreats, it grants rage regen to adjacent allies. So that is a 10-second regeneration, restores 2% rage per second. All right, then Pierre the painter, I know nothing about him yet either. So we can get Rosalia. There's also Valise and Dao Chan in this. I already have Dao Chan, but getting Awakenings for her would be pretty cool. All right, let's get out of that. And we have an event announcement about the payment services for the Windows version of the US region have been restored. Thank you for patience and support. Well, absolutely. Alright, time-limited raid up for exclusive legendary hero Dao Chan. We already know about this. The exclusive summoning is on. That's you're guaranteed to get Dao Chan within 200 summons. Hey, look, OJ got Rosalia this morning as well. Good job, guys. Everybody doing great. Alright, time-limited raid up for legendary heroes Rosalia and Valise. New hero Rosalia arrives. Canvas and Bloom event starts. Participate in the event to obtain an event exclusive avatar border, a legendary summoning crystal, a legendary skill crystal, and other great rewards. Okay. Now, I think we want to go ahead to do some summons. Why not? I guess I could start some things real fast before we do. Give people a chance to get in here. Let's go ahead and pick up the Harbor Master's things, set her off to sail for some oysters. I guess we can pick up whatever we have here in the mine. It's 19,500 gold, 14,900 XP potions, 82 stamina, 2 diamonds, 2 arena permits, 1 auto fight attack, 12 mithril, and a couple of chests that have in them 2 insignia of marching ones and 2 insignia of endurance ones. And then I'll run some oracle trials in the background. That'll be gear raid 3 while we do this. Seems like a fine plan. Okay. Minimize this, get out of there. And then I think we're set for this to go off, right? We've got Moonlit Invocation also is running. That's the one that's summoning Dao Chan within 200 summons mentioned earlier. And so I'm going to go and look at this, but I have how many since my last pity? I think we've got quite a few here, but I'm going to go check how many that is because I'm not, I haven't been keeping track of it. And here we go. This is the one. All right. So basically we got 16 pages that have happened since then. There's 3 per page. So we do 16 times 3, that's 48. And so it's been 48 summons because this is at the top. So 48 summons since my last pity. I think I can risk doing maybe 50 into Dao Chan more. And then switch over to trying to summon for the painter. It's a little bit risky, but not too risky because I don't know. I'm not terribly lucky, so like, is it riskier to do it this way or riskier to do it the other way? I'm not really sure. I don't have enough to do 200 of each. So I think first I put in maybe 50 to Dao Chan just to get this count up. And theoretically, I'm not going to hit pity by then. I mean, I'm definitely not going to hit pity by then, but I mean, I'm not going to hit Dao Chan by then. I'll be getting my pity counter up while doing that. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. And then if I do hit Dao Chan within that 50, it'll reset my pity and that'll be fine because I'll still have enough to probably get the Paintress as well. So this is my thought on it. Right now, I've got 1 summon into Dao Chan. That was the one I did yesterday, just to do my daily. So I feel like we try that. We do 50 here, then hop over, and we'll be at over 100 summons at that point into pity, and can do the next ones into the Paintress. So let's give it a shot. Cody says, I'd personally just pull on Rosalia's banner first because you already have Dao Chan Best Awakening. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm feeling like as long as I have the 200 left to guarantee a pity, then I have a high chance of it being the Paintress. And I don't have enough for it to matter too much if I pull something else in that. Let's see. Let's do a little division here. We got 15,876 of the diamonds right now. It costs 88 diamonds per summoning crystal. So that is 180 crystals worth of diamonds. We've got 60 of the summoning crystals, and so we would only need 20 more in order to guarantee it. We're going to be getting those as we go. We're going to be getting more diamonds as we go along with making these pulls. So I feel like it's pretty safe to get up to 50 and then switch over. And of course, it may be the wrong decision, but I think it's viable. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. If that ends up being the poor choice, then hey, I have only me to blame, right? Okay, so we're going to start here. I do agree about the painter or the paintress being more important of a pull. But at the same time, I think um, I think I'd rather make the attempt to get both, because if I throw these into the painter and paintress right off the bat, then however many I get is essentially um, I won't say it's worthless, right? Because I'm still going to be getting characters, but it's not going to be as um, I guess as efficient of a use of resources. And of course, obviously, if I get Dao Chan during these pulls, I mean that'll be fine. I'll still have plenty left over. I don't know. We'll see. And so Cody says you have 276 pulls with rebate from blue champs you sell off. Depending, right, on how many blues you get, right? I see. Oh, you mean in the snow? No, I don't know. I don't know. I think it depends on how many blue champions you get, right? Yeah, as to how many you end up getting. Right. I see what you're saying. You're saying if you add those together, sure, sure, yeah. Um, by the time all the diamonds go off and all that, sure. All right, I think we're gonna try this. We're gonna see how it goes. So start here, and hey, if we pull Del Chan right off the bat, great. OJ says this is also a good banner for divines since both banner heroes are good. All right, so we got Hayden, 2-star fighter. Hulking and tanky, this trusty warrior can reduce hero summoning costs. That is, I don't know that I've ever used Hayden. I think I say that every time I pull him, pretty much, but I really am not sure that I have. Sometime I should, just so that I can stop saying that. And here we have Drogo, a 3-star marksman from the Piercer faction. There's nowhere to hide. Drogo's massive range and AoE ultimate will have enemies scrambling for cover. He costs like 22 to put out, and he's not very good. And for 22, you would think that he would be a lot better. Like, he should definitely be putting out some DPS. He doesn't really do that. Even for a green, he's pretty rough. Here we have Praetor, 2-star defender, wielding his great mace. Praetor defends the weak while in constant search of his lost love. You see, he's a romantic, actually. He goes right along with this event. You got Valentine's Day and you got Praetor. Here's Screef, the 2-star marksman. Can't trust this one. This vile goblin will lead you into the dark before plugging you with his daggers. He's the strangest marksman in the world. He's a marksman with his daggers. And what's interesting is he's not throwing his daggers, I don't think, at you, because he's leading you into the dark first. He's obviously just stabbing you. It's very weird. Here's Jonas, the 2-star fighter. Your classic drunkard with a spear. He may be a deserter, but he sure can bolster himself in a fight. I need to know his backstory sometime. Like, what's going on with Jonas? What kind of a deserter is he? Who was he working for, and who did he desert? You know, it's a whole question. Here we have Halder, the 2-star fighter. As a traveling mercenary, Halder seeks to repay a debt that saved his very life. Wow. Ah, here we have something purple. Phelan, the 4-star mage from the Esotericist faction. Phelan controls toxins to eliminate all enemies that stand in her path. And share that hero and get 50 diamonds there. So now, I don't know, Cody, were you counting that 50? That's the question. Summon again. We're also getting, we're getting trophies for the spiritual altar and all that too while we go here. So here we have Langland, the only 2-star violet healer that I know in the game. Langland is as devout as can be. His healing magic dispels negative effects, keeping allies in the fight. He just feels very lavender, you know? Then we have Halder again, the 2-star fighter. He is the one who is traveling around trying to repay a debt that saved his very life. Followed up by Cube, the 3-star marksman, a cunning goblin archer whose poisoned arrows bounce from foe to foe. Beware his traps. It's, again, interesting, right? Because he's a marksman who uses traps. I guess that makes some sense to a degree. I'm not sure how I feel about the marksman with traps. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel. Here's Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. Unshakable and accurate, Liam can attack multiple enemies simultaneously from an impressive distance. Liam has been one of the most successful greens in my experience. He does some modicum of damage. Here we have Aaron, the 3-star healer. Gifted, if not impatient, Aaron uses AoE to heal units and provide debuffs, which I used Aaron briefly. I haven't used him in quite some time now, but for a short period I did use Aaron. Here's Duradel, the 3-star fighter. Elf? Vampire? Both? Duradel's surge skill does massive damage and restores HP. Talk about versatile. That's another one I would like to see the backstory on. What's going on with Duradel? No idea. Why are we uncertain if he's an elf or a vampire? You know? What's his story? Here's Rogers, the 2-star defender. Stalwart and loyal, Rogers can bolster his own defenses to become a human wall. And then, who's next? Ah, we have something fancy here. It is Reed, the 4-star mage from the Nightmare and Cultist factions. I use him periodically. It says, true to his name, this wolfish demon siphons multiple souls at once, inflicting AoE and slow. So, here he is. And we're gonna, in all of his beauty, you can't be missing out on this guy. He's fancy. Not any two ways about it. He's got 2 heads. He's carrying something very questionable in his right hand. We don't know what it is, but it's definitely, it's something, and it's moving. That's all I know. All right, so there's Greed. I don't know that I have him awakened. I may not have him awakened at all. I'm not sure. Here's Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Pierre faction once more. He's the one I was saying is, in my opinion, possibly the best green guy that I've run into. And here's a 3rd copy of Liam in case the first 2 were insufficient. OJ says, is that an A5 read for you? His A5 is really good. Very unlikely. I don't know for sure how many I have. I'm sure, I feel certain that I can awaken Greed. I'm not sure if I've awakened him at all. I really have no idea. Here's Langland, 2-star healer. We've had him before. He's our lavender hero. I really think that sometime, just for funsies, I need to make like a purple team, and it'll have all of the lavenders and violets in there. Here's Jonas, 2-star fighter. It says, your classic drunkard with a spear. He may be a deserter, but he sure can bolster himself in a fight. We had him a little bit ago, and I just, I question their assertion that he's a deserter. Without any evidence. This is just hearsay as far as I can tell. Here's Spreef, the 2-star marksman. We've seen him before. He's the one who's plugging you with his daggers, even though he's a marksman. Like, it's maybe he just likes the sensation, right? Like, so he could shoot you, but no, he'd just actually rather take you into the dark and stab you with his daggers. Here's Drogo once more, the 3-star marksman from the Piercer faction, who is extremely expensive for his very subpar performance. And now we have Spring, the 3-star healer. As rejuvenating as the season itself, Spring can heal multiple units at once. Now, Spring is like the worst version of Autumn, who is, I guess maybe it's possible she would be a better healer. Autumn has better utility. Here we have Langland once more, our purple guy who goes around being all devout and primarily just very, very lavender. Alright, Camille, the 3-star healer from the Watcher pack. Camille is ever the sight for sore eyes. Channeling the power of the holy light, she'll patch you up in no time. She's one of your starter people. Comes along with Rex and Voltus. OJ says they should make some epic and legendary goblins. Right? Absolutely. The goblins, Rogers is who we have here, but the goblins do get a bad, I don't know, I'm not sure. You would think there would be some really awesome goblins. I haven't run across any for sure. This is Rogers, the 2-star defender. He's the one who can bolster his defenses to become a human wall. And we're following that up with Arlo. Arlo is a fighter. He's 2-star. He's masked man of the people. Arlo's a dexterous fighter who can reduce hero summoning costs. That can come into handy, but I'm not actually sure that I ever used Arlo for anything. I think he's got an admirer we may run across here in a little bit. Here's Screef, the 2-star marksman. Can't trust this one because he leads you into the dark and stabs you with his daggers instead of shooting you with his bow from distance. He likes it that way. And here's Nunya, the 3-star healer. Let this one's magic soothe your soul. Nunya calls upon the jungle to heal her allies and bolster defense. I have used her. I can't recall anything specific about her that was enticing or bad. Here's Rumnose, and I do agree about the goblins. I feel like we need a legendary goblin that gives all of your goblins some kind of a boost. I feel like there should be a swarm effect here. So like we should have a goblin lord, a legendary goblin lord, and he should just make all of your 2-star goblins that you have running around into this massive thing. Like say if you had like 4 of the same goblin, you could get some kind of a bonus for that. So you could use multiple Screefs in your group. So it would be like the Goblin Lord and 4 Screefs. Good times. All right. So here's Rumnose, the 2-star defender. This cheeky goblin can't see out of a drink. When healthy, he's mighty hard to take down. And they all appear they're either drunkards or they're hanging out at bars. So that's like a goblin thing in this or something. Like the land of Tia, it's got a bunch of drunks running around and a lot of them are goblins. Alright, here's Barclay, the 3-star fighter. When deployed, Barclay raises the defense of nearby allies. His pike grants him decent range. Does anybody know where we can find the backstories of like Jonas? Or can we just go, I guess we could just go to the gallery maybe? I'm not really sure. Or maybe go to their character window and find it. I'm not sure. I've never looked into these guys in that way. Another copy of Rumnose. He is he's quite the drunkard. And when he's healthy, he's mighty hard to take down. Now, I don't know exactly what it means by healthy. Is he ill otherwise? Here's Ogrel, the 3-star fighter. The epitome of a berserker. Shields won't help when he enters a rampage. I think I may have used him early on for some things. Cody says the 2 new epics coming out soonish actually look really cool. Which 2 epics would those be? And then OJ says that's why they can't get promoted to 3 stars because they're drunks. Well, maybe not. There's Shelor, the 3-star fighter. 2 axes are better than 1. Shelor's blood surge throws her into a frenzy. Some people definitely handle their drink better than others. Maybe the goblins are not very capable of that feat. Maybe they're just, falling down, slobbering all over the place, can't even play pool, Here we have Hayden, the 2-star fighter who's bulky and tanky and reduces the hero summoning costs. OJ says there's stories about all of the characters in the gallery. I thought that might be a good spot, but maybe if I went to their character window, we could see it there too. I'm not really sure. I haven't seen a place to do that, but as we all know, I'm not especially visual, so I may have just looked it over. Here's Rogers, the 2-star fighter. He is the one who can bolster his defenses and become a human wall. Walgrek, the 2-star mage. Running with a band of thieves, Walgrek slows enemies with his putrid magic while increasing his own speed. Now, moving right along in this Dao Chan summoning thing, we got Hayden again. He is reducing hero summoning costs right along with his other brother Hayden and their brother Hayden. Then we have Spring once more, the 3-star healer. As rejuvenating as the season itself, Spring can heal multiple units at once. And she is still the inferior version to Autumn. Here's Rogers once more. He is bolstering his defenses, becoming a human wall, doing the things that the tanks do. And Shelor once more, the 3-star fighter. 2 axes are better than 1. Shelor's blood surge throws her into a frenzy. And once more we have Barclay. Barclay is the one who bolsters defenses of his allies, I believe. And he has apparently good range. I'm not sure if I've ever actually used him. Here's Praetor. He is the 2-star defender who is always running around looking for his lost love, who may or may not want to be found. And here's Ryder. Now, this is the dude who I was mentioning earlier who's obsessed with Arlo, which is something really interesting to me because he is a 2-star fighter. Arlo is also 2 stars, so it's not like Arlo's actually better than him. Ryder just has some low self-esteem, and he thinks that Arlo is better than him. That's what I've determined. I think maybe, I don't know, does Arlo know he exists? We don't know. That isn't told. Maybe it's told in the gallery. Who knows? Might have to check that out. Jonas is our fighter, our fighter, not our D-fighter. That's a totally different. He's our fighter, and he is not very great, but he exists anyway. And here's Sheila, the 3-star fighter once more. We're getting so many fighters this time around. We got like 5 more summons to go that I'm willing to do on this banner, and then I'm going to switch on over. Here we have Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Pierre faction, unshakable and accurate. Liam can attack multiple enemies simultaneously from a good range. And then, let's see, this is Drogo, the 3-star marksman from the Pierre faction. There's nowhere to hide. Drogo's massive range and AoE ultimate will have enemies scrambling for cover. We got 3 more summons here on this one. So, there's Halder, the 2-star fighter. As a traveling mercenary, Halder seeks to repay a debt that saved his very life. Alright. Summon again. I've only gotten a couple of Halders this time around. Here's Narvi. She's a 3-star fighter, a most inquisitive adventurer. Narvi makes a great companion, bolstering heroes and reducing costs. I've used her a number of times in different situations. I think during the campaign, in the early parts. Here's Gorza, the 3-star defender. As fierce as she is gorgeous, this Orca shield maiden stands firm and mauls many, which is interesting because Gorza, I don't know. I mean, different people have different opinions about what gorgeous is. Maybe the orcs love her. I don't know. I think this is the last one, right? So this is Screef, the 2-star marksman. He is the guy who leads you into the dark and plugs you with daggers. Alright. And actually, maybe I went one over, I'm not sure. But it doesn't really matter because it worked out alright. So we actually got 52. So I did 50 today. Or 51 today, rather than the 50 I intended. But it doesn't really matter because the pity was not broken, so all is well. Now, we have over here these 20 diamonds and 4 legendary extracts to claim from summoning things. And then let's hop out and see if we have anything in the events window to claim. We also have the daily luck. Let's get that. Because you never know what you'll get in these. So if we pull some diamonds or something like this, which of course we got the diamonds, 40k gold and 100 stamina there. Go on down here to the W Gold shop, and we click on the thing on the right there for this free chest, 10 more diamonds, and then the regular bundle with that chest gives another 10. Very nice. Cody says, RNG gods, please bless Kev with Rosalia. We'll see. Can't make any good calls on that for sure. Now, okay, it shows, okay, we got quests here completed. Sign in for 1 day, and we got one of these discount token t-shirts and 50 diamonds. Then we also did perform 50 summons in the event summon, which gives us another 100 diamonds and 1 discount token. So that's another couple of summons worth of diamonds right there. Let's come out of here and check on Barut to see if maybe he has anything fun. He doesn't right now, unfortunately. So back out of there. We also have down here the spiritual altar, and we've gained some items here, which includes 50 diamonds. So we got the 1 epic skill crystal, 50 diamonds, 50,000 gold, 100 epic skill dust, and 100 legendary skill dust there. So even though, you know, things may have looked bad on the diamond and summons count, you know, it's kind of working out all right. So now we have over 100 summons toward the pity, and I'm going to go over to the painter, or the paintress rather, um, for the next one. But first, let's pick up these background fights and start some more of those going. So we got 51,450 gold here, 9,660 XP potions, a good variety of gear, and 330 Forgotten Palace trophies there. Click OK, and then we'll start um, some more background fights before going into the next set of summons here. Having a little intermission. There we go, minimize that. And then I guess I better get the quests in case some of them have anything fun. We got clear any stages 5 times for 2 lucky knives and 1 stamina potion sample. Spending 100 stamina today gets us another 2 lucky knives and 1 stamina potion sample. Performing 1 summon ended up with 2 lucky knives and 2 4-star psychic power shards. Obtaining 1 piece of gear from Gear Raid gets us 2 lucky knives and 5 quick clear tickets. And then just for signing in, we get 5,000 gold and 2 lucky knives there. In the guild, we have daily sign-in giving us 2,000 gold, 20 guild coins, and 20 guild activity. And let's try the Drake's Chasm daily, where we fought Nightmare 1 and 2. Nightmare 2, we got 150, sorry, that was 150 diamonds. Scalekin Mage Demon Soldier and 15,000 gold coins. And then for Nightmare 1, we picked up another chest. That's 1 rare summoning crystal and 10,000 gold, plus 1 small arachnid demon soldier. Okay, so got a few more that way. And then Gold Dragon Pass, daily quests, logging into the game gives us 200 Gold Dragon tokens. Spending 50 stamina today is another 200 Gold Dragon tokens. Participating in the arena 1 time gave 200 Gold Dragon tokens, and clearing any stage 5 times today gives another 200 Dragon tokens. Levels us up to 7, but let's go ahead and do the weekly quest real quick. Perform 10 summons, got us 750 Gold Dragon tokens, and claiming rewards for Drake's Chasm 5 times, got us 1,125 Gold Dragon tokens. That levels us up all the way to 9. Claim the Dragon rewards over here, and we ended up with 10 Flawless Meteorites, 3 treasure chests, and 5 auto fight attempts. Very cool. Got that going in the background. We also have, over in their Arrival of Heroes, something to claim. And a few things, actually. 15 diamonds, 5 Paintress's brush shards, 5 5-star psychic power shards, and 3 legendary skill crystals. So, we're able to pick up quite a few more diamonds during that, and some summoning crystals as well. Okay, now, let's go back to summon again. And we're 52 into Dao Chan. We have some guys in storage. I think that can continue to hold indefinitely as far as I understand. So we won't worry about the backup storage right now. We're going to keep going and go over to the special invocation of spirits. However, there's also the special divine summoning where you can get the same things as in the special invocation of spirits. It's just that you can only get 4s and 5s. And you have to use the legendary summoning crystal shards. Alright, welcome back, Cody. Alright, so moving forward with this Rosalia attempt, we could also get Valise. There's also some good purples here. Who's this guy? Hold on. That's Harpoon. We don't want Harpoon. He's no good. Then we have Damon, betrayer of his brother Ain, or Ain, if you want to pronounce it that way. This fallen elven prince revives quickly and can immobilize enemies, and he's also from the Nightmare faction. I do like the Nightmare faction. You kind of can see that he looks a little bit like Ain, but he's kind of got that Duradel thing going on with the elvish vampire thing. I don't really know where they get the vampire part. It's kind of bluish purple. I'm not sure what that means, but this calls him elven, so alright, I guess they're bluish purple. I don't know. Confusing. Alright, so there's him. And then we have this girl, Imani. I've seen her around a lot. prophetess bound in fire and ready to cast destruction upon her foes, gains massive perks when deployed. Doesn't tell us what those perks are, but I'm sure the skills would elucidate that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do some pulls here and hope for the best. Cody says, yeah, this is definitely the banner to pull divines. OJ says, I pulled all of my divines this morning. I see. You guys think this is the one? Yeah, probably so. But first, I'm going to try getting Rosalia this way. So let's start. Alright. First off, we've got Pierre. He is the defender who's out there looking for his lost love, 2-star style. Followed by Duradel, the very elf that might be a vampire that we were just talking about. Maybe it's because he has red eyes that they think he may be a vampire, and it has nothing to do with his very oxygen deficient skin here. He's a 3-star fighter. Elf, vampire, both. Duradel's surge skill does massive damage and restores HP. Talk about versatile. Very versatile. I don't think I've ever used him. Cody says good luck. Absolutely, thank you. Here's Oberl again. He's that 3-star fighter. He is a real force to deal with when he enters his rampage, from what I understand. I think I have actually used him. I don't know. And here's Maureen. Not one of my favorite characters in any way. She's a 3-star marksman from the Infernal and Piercer factions. Captain Reeves' first mate at your service. Maureen bombards enemies with her explosive ultimate. She doesn't really though. I mean, she may bombard them, but they're not really affected. They don't really care greatly about her bombardment of them. So here we have Screef, the 2-star marksman who prefers to get a little close and personal with his daggers. It's interesting. Obviously, he's trained as a marksman, but he likes to hit you with the daggers. Well, unfortunately, that is not Rosalia or Valise. That is Talon. I have no idea anything about Talon. I hope she's good. I do need more marksmen, so I'm gonna call this a win. She's a 5-star marksman from the Watcher and Piercer factions. Once a lost child abandoned in the woods, now the reincarnation of a great bear deity. Huh. She doesn't look like a bear. Moonbeams blend off her mystic claws as she stands guard. Okay. Not identifying claws. No claws whatsoever. Alright. With a slingshot, she wards enemies, while her Earth sign might becomes a bulwark of healing for allies. So I'm gonna guess she turns into a bear, because a bear she is not. Alright. Summon again. Now the question is, do I continue summoning with this banner, or do I go for the Dao Chen? I think I continue here. Probably makes the most sense. OJ says that Talon is awesome, and Cody says that that's still really good. She can be a ground and platform champ. Ooh, that's nice. She's a bear when she's ground. That's okay. That sounds good. Cody says I'd keep pulling on Rosalia. I kind of feel that way too. Like, on the one hand, it would be cool to get another Dao Chen, but on the other hand, I would prefer to get Rosalia. I want to check her out and see what she's all about. Odds are not going to, but we'll see. Could happen. Alright, here's Nash, the 3-star fighter. I haven't been impressed with him as a 3-star. His name hits the nail on the hammer. Okay. Nash eviscerates multiple enemies at a time with his morbid club. His morbid club in question is a fish skeleton. I think it could be more morbid. I mean, I guess it's somewhat morbid, but I feel like I could get a little more morbid than that. Let's see. OJ says I use Talon all of the time, and Cody says Rosalia is definitely worth it. Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope so. I don't have her, but I would hope so. I heard, you saying that you got her, so have you tried her out yet? Okay, Autumn is a 3-star healer from the Infernal faction. As comforting as the changing leaves, Autumn uses AoE healing and boosts critical damage. And that is an important point. She is utility as well as healing. So she is kind of like a not nearly as good version of Dao Chan. She does both things, AoE healing and the utility. Here's Cutter, the 2-star marksman. It's his cutter launches poison laced daggers with ease, but downs boos with less grace than an ox. OJ says he uses Talon all of the time, and Cody says same. Talon's one of my favorite champs, super versatile. Here we have Walgrak, the 2-star mage, who slows enemies down while using his putrid magic upon them. I'm going to follow that up with Aaron, the 3-star healer. He is an AoE healer, and he also debuffs, so not too shabby for a 3-star healer, sure. Liam is a 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. He does a pretty decent job overall. As a 2-star, I vouch for him. He's not great, but he's better than most. Preeter is the defender, 2-star, looking for his lost love. She found somebody better, maybe, we don't know. Maybe she leveled up. Don't know. Hard to say. Here's Barclay, the 3-star fighter. He raises the defense of his compatriots, and I think he has extended range or something of that nature. Here's Halder, the 2-star fighter, who is traveling around looking to repay a debt that saved his very life. Followed by Rogers, our local human wall. We are encapsulating Tia with this wall, for there are many of them around. And here's Barut, the 3-star fighter from the Watcher faction, who's actually also a lord. And I used him for many things, because one of his skills is that you can push back the opponent. So say you've got somebody like Arrogance who does good DPS, you can put Barut, say, behind Arrogance, for instance, and then when, say they're overwhelmed with folks coming by, and some of them slip by Arrogance, Barut can actually push them back in front of him, or you can stand him to the side so that if they go a different direction, you can push him into the range of someone like that. So Barut is very helpful, even after he may otherwise appear to have lost his usefulness. Barut is a roughneck faction leader of the Watchguard. His mechanical fists wreak havoc with burn damage. See, it doesn't even mention his little knockback thing, but the knockback thing is good. There's another guy who has that vortex who knocks him back a couple of spaces. I haven't made good use of it. Vortex is not as good, I would say, as Barut by any stretch. Now here's another of our. This is like a pinkish purple. I would feel comfortable sticking him on my purple team. His name is Rutu, and he is a 3-star fighter. This scalekins in it for the thrills. Gains a shield after placement and recovers costs. I would have liked for him to be a really good blue, but that wasn't. After looking at him over, basically, I don't think he is. I didn't end up using him. I don't know. It would have been cool if he was good, but I don't think he is. This is Arlo, the 2-star fighter. He can reduce the summoning costs of the folks. Cody says, just relieved as well, you have more of a rate up on the banner champs now because you hit Talon. Rate up on the banner champs now because you hit Talon. That's true. Yeah, if I hit another legendary slot, then I might be alright. Here's Rumnose, the 2-star defender. This cheeky goblin can't stay out of a dream. When healthy, he's mighty hard to take down. When he's unhealthy, it's sort of like he's just a leaf. You just blow on him and falls over. Here's Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. One of the cool things about Liam is that even though he's a green, he has a faction, so you can use him in faction trials. Here's Langland, the 2-star healer, and he dispels negative effects, which is good for a 2-star. followed by Cutter. He is also a 2-star with a faction, and he is a member of the Piercer faction. He has the marksman ability, even though so many of these goblins who are marksmen seem to prefer the knives to the bows and arrows, or anything like that, guns, whatever. It's like they're close range marksmen. Some of them throw the knives, some of them just run up and stab you in the gut. Here's Cyrene, the 4-star fighter from the Watcher and Cultist factions. I definitely need more awakenings on her. The perfect teammate, Cyrene recovers costs for the unit and boosts criticals of those around her. I think primarily I've been using her in the faction trials. And that's followed up by Lunaria, the 4-star marksman from the Piercer faction. She's also a lord. Powered by the moon, Lunaria marks targets for catastrophic damage and is a leader of the Star Piercers, which is actually great because the Piercers, she's the only lord that I have for the Piercers. I have no idea how many there are. I didn't look into that. But it's very helpful to have a lord, and I think having looked at her awakenings before, I have in the back of my mind this little niggling thought that she has really good awakenings. Whether that's true or not, hard to say, but I think so. And then, what's next? Let's see here. We have Praetor, the 2-star defender who is wandering around in all of the towns looking for his lost love. She's well hidden and possibly protected. Here's Ritu, the 3-star fighter. He is the Scale King guy who is pinkish purple and not amazing. And there's Ryder, the 2-star fighter. Obsessed with Arlo, this double-bladed warrior mimics his every move and heavily increase his own attack. Try summoning again. We should be moving right along in the altar, the spiritual altar at this point. Mostly getting greens, a little bit of blues, and the occasional purple. One legendary so far, which is nice. Borut is a 3-star fighter from the Watcher faction. He's that lord I was talking about earlier who can kind of shove back folks every once in a while. Very nice. Cody says, I can't wait for tomorrow's ancient pools. I suppose that's going to be going for the painter, right? And here's Nunia, the 3-star healer girl. I have used her a few times. She is not phenomenal, but she's acceptable. This is Rogers. He is our human wall, ever expanding across the border of Tia. And Narvi, the 3-star fighter. Most inquisitive adventurer, Narvi makes a great companion. I've used her many a time. She gives, inspiration, I believe, to a couple of people in her surrounding blocks. Walgrak is a 2-star mage, running with a band of thieves. Walgrak slows enemies with his putrid magic while increasing his own speed. OJ says same, I'm hyped for tomorrow, and Cody says, yeah, I'd like to paint her. Yes, indeed. Here's Muriel. I have Muriel. I'm not sure that I've actually used Muriel. I may have. She is a 4-star defender from the Watcher faction. The paladin you need at your side. Muriel can heal herself and others, all while dishing out damage. Don't know much else about her than what it says right there. I think I looked at her when I got her, but she must not have been ridiculously impressive because I don't think she made the list at all, even in the mediocre. Yeah, she's not on here, so I must not have thought she was a phenomenal one. Here we have Arlo once more. Now that is the one that the other dude thinks so highly of. Ryder, I think, is the one who is obsessed with Arlo. We don't really know why, and he shows his obsession in strange ways as far as I can tell. Here's Rumnose. He is a bit of a drunkard who's apparently he could have been a contender, but he got caught up in that alcohol and down he went. And here he is again. Rum knows he just keeps coming back. Cannot stay out of the local pub. Um, and his buddies are outside stabbing people in the dark. Now we have Damon, the 4-star fighter from the Nightmare faction. Now, this is one I'm very interested in. I definitely want to check him out because he's a member of the Nightmare clan, and also he's the brother to Ain. If he has some kind of boosting abilities like Ain does, that would be actually wonderful because then we could pair him up with Arrogance, use him for his boost, if nothing else. So I don't know. Seems interesting. Says betrayer of his brother Ain, this fallen elven prince revives quickly and can immobilize enemies. So I'm interested in looking into him later. Now we move forward. Summon again. I didn't see any Lord effect on him. Maybe he had one. I don't know. I didn't notice the crown. Ain is the Lord, so I don't know. This is Grief, the dude hanging outside of the bar, plugging the people with the daggers while Rum Nose is falling down drunk inside. Cannot do anything. Occasionally, he pulls it together for a fight. Here's Praetor, 2-star defender, walking around looking for love. Maybe he should meet Muriel. They could have a thing. Maybe love is to be found elsewhere. And here's Ryder, the 2-star fighter who's obsessed with Arlo. Reasons unknown. Maybe that's in the little history in the glossary. There's Cutter, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction, and he too is to be found in the local pub. He is not as graceful as an ox at putting down the alcohol, which I don't know exactly what that means because I've never seen an ox put down alcohol. So, is that I don't know. I don't know. Maybe oxen are extremely graceful when they're drinking, and therefore it's a high bar. I don't know. It's hard to say. All right, here's Cuke, the 3-star marksman, cunning goblin archer whose poisoned arrows bounce from foe to foe. Beware his traps. I'm not sure if I've used Cuke or not. I may have. I get the goblins a little confused. Here's Glenn, the 3-star defender, devout to the holy light. This reliable defender turns to prayer in order to deflect and reduce damage. And then we have Rumnose once more. He is drinking it up in the local pub with his buddies. Screef and Cutter are taking care of the ones who wander outside. Here's Halder, the 2-star fighter. He is the one who's wandering around trying to repay a debt that saved his very life. And then we have Hayden. He is the hulking and tanky one who can reduce hero summoning costs. And then Rex, the 3-star defender from the Watcher faction. He is the commander's best man, unyieldingly loyal to the commander. Rex uses swords and shield to stun enemies and deal AoE damage. He is a pretty good 3-star tank. As far as 3 stars go, he's up there. Alright, Screef is once more showing his face, 2-star marksman. And he's going to be leading you into the dark, plugging you with the daggers, never using any long-range weapons. And Cutter's a 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. Same kind of deal. Hitting you with those knives, daggers. Not so much on anything else, I guess. There's Tazira, the 4-star marksman from the Piercer faction. I've seen Tazira. I think that'll be very helpful in certain areas. I'm really low on marksman, so I've seen people use Tazira in arena. I don't know if she's good or not. I'm gonna have to look into her, but I have seen people use her. I think she may be better than some of my marksmen. Not sure. Tazira is a jungle-dwelling stunner that shoots faster when surrounded, prioritizing airborne units. So that's interesting. She shoots faster when surrounded. So placement is definitely key here. Alright, summon again. Looks like Cody says even if you get release, it's going to be really good. She's basically the best AoE mage right now. Well, that'd be cool. OJ says Tazira is good for that immortal codex with the shield. Oh, yeah. But okay, it says when she's surrounded. So she wouldn't shoot faster on him, right? Because there's only one guy. I don't know. I have to look at her skills. Here's Skulf, the 3-star fighter. With a galvanizing roar, Skulf boots allies and lays enemies low, able to regenerate health when low. Summon again. We're down to 12,500 diamonds at the moment for those who are keeping track. Alright, so this is Marine once more, the 3-star marksman from the Infernal and Piercer factions, and the only really very good thing about Marine is that she is of 2 factions, so she can do two different faction trials. OJ says Tazira was my very first epic. Cool. You know, I don't know who my first epic was. You guys probably know better than I do, honestly. Alright, Rogers is a 2-star defender. He is our continually expanding human wall. We're making a good circle at the moment. Pretty soon, we're not even going to have to worry about it because we're going to be surrounded by Hayden. Alright, Gauntbutt, 3-star mage from the Esotericist faction. He does the AoE spikes, he slows the guys down, and that can be helpful if you are trying to make kind of a gauntlet. Here's Jonas, the 2-star fighter. He is a drunkard, and he is a deserter, but he's tougher than one may think, according to the write-up. We got Langland, our purple healer. He dispels negative effects, and he makes people happy, healthy. Here's Nero, the 3-star cultist and watcher and mage and lord. So, Nero is a flame-cloaked master of AoE damage and faction leader for the cursed cult to crank the heat. I wasn't impressed with Nero. I'm sure that if you didn't have a lord for that faction yet, that he could definitely be used as a lord. Rogers is the 2-star defender who becomes the human wall. I said Hayden a minute ago, but it's actually Rogers that we've got surrounding us and protecting us from all things. OJ says probably Brienne for my first. Oh, that's true. I did have Brienne very early on. It took me a long time to realize that she was an epic. As you probably all know, I'm not particularly visual, and I didn't notice. I don't really notice color very well for the most part, unless I'm looking for it, and so I may very well not have noticed that she was an epic for a while, but maybe. It's always Tazira, Idril, Theowen, or Brienne for your first epic. Well, that's cool. I definitely didn't have Tazira, Idril, or Theowen until fairly recently. So then it had to be Brienne. Alright, we got Screef, plugging you in the dark with the daggers, 2-star marksman apparently. You'd think he would be a fighter. Peter, he's looking for the lost love. He's a 2-star defender. It feels like he would be a paladin, but I don't know. Now we've got Nash. He's the one with the fish head sword. His name hits the nail on the hammerhead. He is the 3-star fighter. And then we have Elikos. Elikos is actually useful because I don't have much in the way of cultists, and he is a member of the cultist faction. He's a marksman, and he slows guys down, so that's nice. Not every day you see an ivory-skinned goblin. With frosty arrows that inflict slow, he just can't miss. He also has red eyes. Just a little note and a little nod to albino folks, I suppose. Screef is a 2-star marksman. He's the one who's leading you into the dark outside of that bar after Rumnose has challenged you to a drinking contest, and Cuke is probably hiding around the corner. He is a 3-star marksman, a cunning goblin archer whose poisoned arrows bounce from foe to foe. Beware his traps. I'm figuring he pulls you outside, he gets you in one of those traps. Well, actually, it would be the other dude who led you out there to start with, I suppose. Move right into the trap. Here he is. See, they're hanging out together. They're nearby. I see it. The whole situation is coming down. We're next. All right. OJ says, I think that they changed that, and now everyone gets nervous. Who's nervous? They recently changed the beginner stuff. Really? That had to be really recent then. Maybe Narvi? Narvi? The girl with the backpack? Here's Halder, 2-star fighter as a traveling mercenary. Halder seeks to repay a debt that saved his very life. And now we have a purple guy, Harpoon. Oh, he's terrible. I have Harpoon. I tried him once, I believe, and once was enough. 4-star marksman from the Northerner faction. An apex predator who frenzies for a drop of blood, detrimental to weakened enemies and airborne units. Maybe that he's detrimental, but I feel like he could be a little bit more detrimental, you know what I mean? Now we've got Drogo, the 3-star marksman from the Pierce faction. There's nowhere to hide. Drogo's massive range and daily ultimate will have enemies scrambling for cover. He's not very good, though. I mean, he talks a big talk, looks cool, not good. Here's Gogren, the 3-star fighter. Stained crimson, this feral beast rouses his allies with his war cry and goes berserk when health is low. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I've used him before. Gogren, I'm not sure. Maureen is the 3-star marksman from the Infernal and Piercer factions. She is, the worst part about her, to be honest, is her vocals. Really, she was very obnoxious, so I had to shut off all of the voices just because of her, really, more than anything. Here's Hayden, the 2-star fighter, hulking and tanking, and he reduces the hero summoning costs. But he's not a wall. He's just a normal kind of hulking and tanky. Ooh, Harpoon again. 4-star marksman from the Northerner faction rather. At the very least, I can use him to awaken himself. That's not nothing, right? And followed up with Narvi, the 3-star fighter. A most inquisitive adventurer, Narvi makes a great companion, bolstering heroes and reducing costs. And now we've got Nunya, the 3-star healer. She heals allies and boosts defense. Amali. I've got at least one copy, and I feel like I have 2 or 3 copies of Amali. She's a 3-star marksman, a huntress not to be trifled with. Amali's spears are deadly accurate and greatly reduce enemy defense. I don't know that I've actually used her, but I think I have a few of them. And now we've got Imani, the 4-star mage from the Infernal faction, a prophetess bound in fire and ready to cast destruction upon her foes, gains massive perks when deployed. We had her, I believe, earlier, and it doesn't tell us what those massive perks are. Here's Arlo, the 2-star fighter. He can reduce summoning costs. That's his main claim to fame, according to the write-up. And Cutter, 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. He is the fellow who downs booze with less grace than an ox. And Rogers, he is our human wall. It's getting very large. We have gotten maybe 7 more of them just today. we're following that up with Hayden, who is he's the hulking and tanky guy who reduces summoning costs. I think they could be friends, you know? They can just all hang out together, another Hayden, and form walls and bond. It's like Hayden number 4 in a row. Well, not in a row, but in very short succession. And Halder, a traveling mercenary who's out to repay a debt that saved his very life. Ah, and Wargraf, the 2-star mage. He is the fellow who flings the putrid magic around and does all that kind of thing. He does some detriments. And here's Decimus, a 3-star fighter, relentless to the T. This undead warrior stays in the fight even after his health has been depleted, which is all fine and well. He just kind of pops back up and you can redeploy him quicker. There's Langland, the 2-star healer, and he gets rid of the negative effects that are hanging out, which is useful. I need more of that in my life. Somebody to clear the negative effects. This is Ryder, the 2-star fighter, who is obsessed with Arlo for reasons unknown. Ah, Gorut, the 3-star fighter from the Watcher faction, who is also a lord. He's the guy I was telling you about who shoves people around and can put them in better locations as a result. There's Boltus, the 3-star mage from the Cultist faction. Boltus, assigned to protect the commander, possesses electrical powers of mysterious origin. Beware his devastating storm. He's very good for that, like the beginner fights, and for like a 3-star, he's very good. Here's Shreef, the 2-star marksman. He's the fellow leading you into the dark, plugging you with the daggers. Cody says we want to see some cold game. Which says for real, yes. That would be cool. I may have mentioned I'm not the luckiest person in the world. We're getting there. Alright, we've got Ryder, the 2-star fighter. He is the guy who can increase his own attack, I believe. And then Walgrak once more, the 2-star mage. He's the guy who runs with a band of thieves. I can't tell if he's a goblin or exactly what he is. He's like a goblin-orc mix. Here's Dagna, the 3-star defender from the northern faction. She is also a lord, and she's quite useful for quite a while. Mighty things come in small packages. Dagna is a North Throne faction leader, able to greatly heal herself. Yeah, it would be cool if we could run into the painter or paintress rather. We'll see how that goes. Here's Skulf, the 3-star fighter. With a galvanizing roar, Skulf boots allies and lays enemies low, able to regenerate health when low. Followed by Rogers once more. The human wall is larger by the moment. Here's Ryder. He's obsessed with Arlo. You know, the interesting thing is there are a lot of Ryders and a lot of Arlos in this area, and I feel like they could definitely run into each other. Maybe it is that Ryder is following Arlo around. That's why we keep seeing them. There's Rogers. More human wall continues. What is that, like 10, maybe 10 human walls by now we've got during this summoning session? Leyland, the 2-star healer. He's our lavender guy, working on getting our collection of purple guys up. Walgrak, the 2-star mage who flings around his putrid magic, slows the folks down, and causes kind of destruction and mayhem in that way. Here we have Devos, the 4-star fighter from the Nightmare faction. I already have one of him, so this should be able to awaken him. Bane of Vampires. Demos rips enemies to shreds. His strikes against the same enemies compound. And I've used him before to break down, like, shields. When they throw up a shield. And I feel like he works okay for that. Alright, we got Gorza, the 3-star defender, who is as fierce as she is gorgeous. And you can just take that how you will. Both of those things are subjective. Camille is 3-star healer from the Watcher faction. Camille is ever the sight for sore eyes, and Rex has a thing for her, I think. I believe when they're sitting around, Rex is like, do you think I've got a chance with Camille? Jonas is the deserter who can bolster himself in a fight. Yes, when he gets stuck in a corner and he has to fight, by gosh, he's a fighter. Here's Grief. He's just here to plug us with some daggers. Definitely not to shoot us with any bows. It's right out of his abilities. Ryder is following Arlo around like a lost puppy dog. And here we have Maureen, the 3-star marksman from the Infernal and the Piercer factions. She is said to have an explosive ultimate, but that's not been my experience in anything but visual. Here we have Demon once more, which is cool because that means that we've got an awakening for him, and he's a member of the Nightmare faction, so hopefully 4-star fighter will be useful. We'll see. I feel like there's a possibility. There's Nero, the 3-star mage lord from the Cultist and Watcher faction. He has a daughter also who is a character in this. I cannot think of her name, but he definitely has one. There's Jonas, the 2-star fighter who is the drunkard with a spear. He may be a deserter, but he sure can bolster himself in a fight. Harpoon, your friend and mine, the 4-star marksman from the Northerner faction. Yeah, that'll be my, maybe another awakening for him. I'm not sure what he's looking like, how many I have in him at the moment. Here's Skolf, the 3-star fighter. He's got that galvanizing roar, and with that, apparently, he's able to lay his enemies low. Could it be his breath? We don't know. Cutter is a 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. He is the one who launches the poison-laced arrows, and they bounce from foe to foe, I think. Here's Halder. He's going around searching for some way to repay a debt that saved his life. OJ says you'll need Damon for the later stages of the faction trial. Cool. Here's Walgrak, the 2-star mage. He slows down the enemies with his putrid magic while increasing his own speed. Followed by Jonas. He is the deserter who can bolster himself in a fight. He is a drunkard with a spear. It says your classic drunkard with a spear, I think, and it's interesting because I don't have any classic ideas of a drunkard with a spear. Here's Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. Definitely one of the better green guys that there is. Nunez, a 3-star healer, and she can heal, and she can also bolster defenses of her allies. And then we've got Dagna, the 3-star defender from the Northerner faction, who also happens to be a lord. She's very useful. Jonas, 2-star fighter, classic drunkard with a spear. I've read some Dickens and, Faulkner and all this, and never once have I ever come across in the classics a drunkard with a spear that I can think of right now. We got Rogers, the 2-star defender, who is stalwart and loyal, and he's getting to be a very good-sized human wall at this point. I feel like we could make a case for it. We could certainly surround a car, no doubt. Here we have Imani, a 4-star mage from the Infernal faction. Our prophetess, bound in fire and ready to cast destruction upon her foes, gains massive perks when deployed, it says. I do want to know about those massive perks, and I think I'm going to have to look at her skills later just to find out what they are. Here's Nash, the 3-star fighter. He is the one who hits the nail on the hammer. Or his name does, anyway, whether he does or not. I guess that remains to be seen. Calder is the 2-star fighter, traveling mercenary, and wandering around. Here's Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Pierce faction. Um, Not much more to say about him. He just sort of is what he is. There we have here Hayden once more, 2-star fighter. He can reduce the hero summoning costs. Alright, now, Liam again, 2-star marksman from the Piercer trial faction. Not trial. Trial is different. We're down to just under 6,000 diamonds at the moment. See what we got in this box. It's a purple guy. It's Jorge. Jorge is not bad. I think he made my mediocre list. Let's see, I'm gonna look him over. Maybe not. Okay, maybe he didn't make my mediocre list. Maybe I had high hopes for him and then it just fell through. Maybe it's just that I've been using him in the faction trials. So he's a 4-star defender from the chaotic and cultist factions. The rotten mercenary, stripped of his eternal peace, tirelessly seeks the truth behind his cursed release from Death's realm. Unfortunately, his unending wanderings unwittingly unleashed a terrible plague. Well, we all believe it was unwitting because I'm not sure that he has any wits left to speak of. Just kind of wanders around, delivering plague. Here is Cuke, the 3-star marksman, a cunning goblin archer whose poisoned arrows bounce from foe to foe. Beware his traps. And now for Praetor, the 2-star defender who is looking around all over the world, trying desperately to find his lost love. But he keeps coming back to the same place because we keep seeing it. And here's Hayden, 2-star fighter. He is hulking, he's tanky, he reduces summoning costs of your other heroes. What's not to like? And Jonas, he is the drunkard with the spear. He is what he is, I suppose. And here he is again. He is, apparently he's a deserter. We don't know the deets on that, but that's word on the street. Liam again, 2-star marksman from the Piercer tribe faction. Tribal faction. And Marine, the 3-star marksman from the Piercer and something else factions. And okay, Demon once more, 4-star fighter from the Nightmare faction. He is the one whose brother is Ain, and he apparently immobilizes his enemies, which is a neat feat, possibly. Hopefully, he does a little more than that. We'll find out. Here's Liam, the marksman. And he is, I believe, from the Piercer faction. Followed up with Rumnose, the 2-star defender. He hangs out in the bar. When he's healthy, he's a tough guy, but the rest of the time, which is most of the time, you can find him at the local pub. Here's Dagna, 3-star defender from the Northern faction. She's a lord, and she is able to heal herself, which definitely does come in handy, particularly during some of the raids. Here's Glenn, the 3-star defender. Devout to the holy light, this reliable defender turns to prayer in order to deflect and reduce damage. And Ogro, the 3-star fighter. He is the epitome of a berserker, and he's extremely dangerous when he enters into his berserk rage. Followed by Arlo, the 2-star fighter, who is very dexterous, and he can also reduce hero summoning costs. Perhaps he does that through his intense dexterity. Who knows? Here's Cutter, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. And he is the guy who has the poison-laced daggers. And he downs the booze, but not quite so gracefully as an ox. Now we have, oh, look at this. It's a thing. We got some purple going on and some fountains. Anything could happen. Purple water. Well, who do we have? Let's see. Ah, it is Valise, the 5-star mage from the cultist faction. Valise, the serpent goddess of desire, uses seduction to create corrupted souls, summoning serpentine spirits to reduce enemy magic resistance, vowing to devour the Terminator Ezereth. I don't even know the Terminator Ezereth, but I think maybe I saw him in an arena once. I'm not sure. All right. Cody was saying, I'm really surprised Kip hasn't hit yet, but I'm definitely not used to the seeing the pulls LOL. OJ says nice, and then Cody says spoke too soon. Elise, probably one of the best AoE mages right now in the game. Okay, well, cool. That should be helpful. We will find out how that goes. Hopefully, wonderfully. I do need some better cultists, honestly, for the faction trial at the very least. So I'm cool with that. Onward. Now we won't have too many more pulls, but we'll give it a go anyway. Here's Skull, 3-star fighter. He is laying his enemies low and regenerating his own health when he gets low. And there we have Rum Nose. He's a drunkard, but when he's healthy, he's hard to take down. I think when it says healthy, what it means is sober. Could be wrong, but that's how I'm reading it. Cody says 2 solid Legos in this pool session. Yeah, hopefully so. We got Cuke, a 3-star marksman. He's the guy whose arrows poison. They bounce from foe to foe, and he lays traps. So very cool. Gogba is the 3-star mage from the esotericist faction. He uses spikes, throws that out there, and slows folks down. And there's Nash with his fish sword. He's not as good of a hero as I had hoped he would be the first time I got him, which is to say that I don't actually use him at all. Here's Cutter, the 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. He is competing with Oxen in the beer drinking contests. So, just so you know, you can find him in the field. Sorzus, the 3-star mage from the Nightmare faction. Advisor to the Nightmare Legion, Sorzus preys on the weak. He does exceptional damage to low HP enemies. Down to 3,679 diamonds, I believe, at the moment, for those who are keeping track. Camille is a 3-star healer from the Watcher faction. And she's a single target healer. She's quite a decent blue healer until you get some pretty good ones. She's sufficient. Here's Jonas, the 2-star fighter. He is your classic drunkard with a spear. Maybe it just means he's your classic drunkard, and he also happens to have a spear, as opposed to being a classic drunkard with a spear. This is free. He daggers you. There you go. He daggers you in the dark. Oh man. Alright, here we have Rogers. He is our human wall. Just another brick in the wall right there. And then we have Langland. He is our violet healer. 2 stars, dispels negative effects. Does a little bit of healing. Cody says I want to pull more, but there's possibly new limited next month. Yeah, I'll just have to do my best to get there, I suppose. Hayden is a 2-star fighter who is bulky and tanking, and also reduces hero summoning costs. Duradel, the Elvish Vampire, 3 stars, fighter, very questionable. Don't know much about him. Not sure about his lineage. Here's Preetor, the 2-star defender who is constantly out there looking for that lost love, and he just keeps coming to the same places over and over again. Hayden is a hulking and tanky fellow who reduces summoning costs. Probably it's his morale, it's that charisma. Everybody wants to be with him. Alright, here we have Autumn, the 3-star healer from the Infernal faction. She uses AoE healing, and she also boosts critical damage, which is actually quite nice. If you don't have a really good healer, she's a pretty good substitute. Here's Amelie, the 3-star marksman. She reduces the enemy's defenses. I think that's her main benefit. Then we have Drogo, the 3-star marksman from the Piercer faction. I would take Amelie over Drogo any day of the week. There's nowhere to hide. His massive range and AoE ultimate will have enemies running for cover. I don't know who those enemies are. I haven't met them. And here's Nash with his Morbid Fish Club. He is a 3-star fighter. He does, I think, is just pretty much straight to DPS. And now we have Bowroot, the 3-star fighter from the Watcher faction, who also happens to be a lord. He knocks back the enemies, and so he can stick them back into a place where they can get beaten down a bit better. Here's Halder, the 2-star fighter. He's the guy wandering around trying to repay a debt of unknown origin. Screef is a 2-star marksman who brings you on into the shadows where he can successfully plug you with daggers. Instead of being sniper-like, he wants a little close and personal interaction. So, Nash, he's the guy who carries around the dead fish, but the dead fish seems to be, possibly made of metal. I think that's the part that makes it a little bit less morbid. I think I need it to be a real skeleton to be morbid. Otherwise, it's just like, oh, okay, you made yourself a thing. Alright. So here's Imani, the 4-star mage from the Infernal faction. She's a prophetess bound in fire and ready to cast destruction upon her foes. Gains massive perks when deployed. I'll have to be the judge of whether those are massive or not. Halder, the 2-star fighter, wandering around trying to repay a debt. And then we've got Leglin. He is our lavender healer, 2-star, and he can dispel negative effects. Walgrak is a 2-star mage. He slows his enemies with his putrid magic. For the purple team, there's Leglin, and then there's also Rutu, and I feel like there's another purple person, but I can't remember who. Cutter is a 2-star marksman from the Piercer faction. He launches poison-laced daggers. However, he downs his alcohol with less grace than an ox, and that is somehow vital. Alright, Decimus is a 3-star fighter. He is a dude who blows up after a little bit. He just sort of goes down in health until finally he's out, he explodes, does AoE damage to the things. I think, or maybe that's only Aatrox. I feel like he's like the worst version of Aatrox, but maybe not. Here's Marine, the 3-star marksman from the Infernal and Piercer factions. She's not my favorite. She's minimal DPS. Here's Walgrak, 2-star mage. He runs around with a band of thieves, and he uses his putrid magic and bolsters, I think, his own attack. Nero is a 3-star mage from the Cultist and Watcher faction. He also is a lord of the Cultist faction. Nero is a flame-cloaked master of AoE damage and faction leader for the Cursed Cult. Crank the heat. And now we have Sorzus, the 3-star mage from the Nightmare faction. Advisor to the Nightmare Legion, Sorzus preys on the weak. He does exceptional damage to low HP enemies. I haven't really found a good spot for him so far. I want him to be better than he is because he's a member of the Nightmare faction, and I want to support that. But I'm not loving him so far. Sorzus. Now Rutu is another one that would be cool to be good, but unfortunately he just has been consistently disappointing. He's only, of course, a 3-star, but still, you'd think he could do something. 3-star fighter, this scale gets in it for the thrills, gains a shield after placement, and recovers costs. Alright, here we have Rex, the 3-star defender from the Watcher faction. Unyieldingly loyal to the commander, Rex uses sword and shield to stun enemies and deal AoE damage. And he's a pretty solid 3-star guy. As far as 3-star guys go, I don't have a lot of complaints there. And here's Autumn, 3-star healer from the Infernal faction. As comforting as the changing leaves, Autumn uses AoE healing and boosts critical damage. She is at least as much utility as she is healing. So that's something to keep in mind. She's not going to be as good of a straight-up healer, but she has other benefits. So she's a good secondary healer for the most part. Or if you don't really need much healing, but you do need some DPS, she can help your good DPS be better. Here's Halder, 2-star fighter. As a traveling mercenary, Halder seeks to repay a debt that saved his very life. Down to 1,039 diamonds at the moment. Here's Narvi, the 3-star fighter. The most inquisitive adventurer, Narvi makes a great companion, bolstering heroes and reducing costs. And let's see who we follow that up with. It is Barclay, the 3-star fighter. We haven't gotten very many Barclays this time around. Maybe this is the third. When deployed, Barclay raises the defense of nearby allies. His pike grants him decent range. 7 again. And we've got Screef, the 2-star marksman who will drag you outside, stick you in the dark, and plug you with daggers. Followed by Rogers. He is our human wall, steadfast and loyal, and we can trust him to be a wall. It's very good. Orut, the 3-star fighter from the Watcher faction, is a roughneck faction leader of the Watchguard. His mechanical fists wreak havoc with burn damage. Cody says coming to an end. Absolutely not too far away. We got another Cutter, 2-star marksman from the Pierce faction. Cutter launches poison-laced daggers with ease, but downs boos with less grace than an ox. Yeah, it's not looking real likely, but we'll see. Another Narvi, 3-star fighter. She is bolstering other heroes and reducing costs. The good news is we're getting all of these spiritual altar things up a little ways too. And we've got some cool people. Here's Azov, a 4-star mage from the Infernal faction. We've gotten him before. The apple doesn't fall far. Zilitu's son is a master of critical damage with an affinity for fire magic. I should be able to awaken him, so that's cool. And then we've got Gorza, the 3-star defender. As fierce as she is gorgeous, this Orcish shield maiden stands firm and mauls many. And Harpoon once more. 4-star marksman from the Northern faction, an apex predator who frenzies for a drop of blood, detrimental to weakened enemies and airborne units. And Ryder. Ryder is obsessed with Arlo, and he can increase his own attack. And now we've got all the pools there. So, let's come over here and claim these rewards. We got 40 diamonds, 4 legendary extracts, and 4 rare summoning crystals from that. So, let's go ahead and throw those in. Here's one. Alright, that gets us Liam, the 2-star marksman from the Pierce faction. As I've mentioned prior, I personally think that Liam is one of the better green guys that you can get. Followed up with Rumnose, the 2-star fella who is just constantly drunk, but he does his job fine when he's not drunk. Then we've got Gorza. She is as fierce as she is gorgeous. You can just take that how you will. Alright, so this is Narvi. She is the one who bolsters those around her. We've got one more pull on these. Let's see what we get. Alright, it is Drogo. Drogo, the marksman from the Piercer faction. There's nowhere to hide. Drogo's massive range and daily ultimate will have enemies scrambling for cover. Alright, that did that for now. I'll probably be able to eke a few more out here and there. Let's spend these 10 diamonds. So likely I'll be able to get some. In fact, I know I'll be able to claim a few from here later. However, it won't be too many, and I'll try to gather some more up whenever I come back later. I'll have to take a break for now, I'm afraid. I've got some real life things I'll have to get done. But I should be back on later, and I'll probably do a few more pulls to try to get somewhere on that. We'll see. For now, I'll have to take off. It was a pleasure streaming with all of you. Yeah, I won't forget to sell the rare gems. It's a good point. But yeah, I've got some other ways that I can probably pull together a few more diamonds, but it won't be too many. So, all right. If you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me and turn on notifications so that you can see next time I go live. Hopefully, I'll see you then. Goodbye for now.